Our story opens in a shadowed season for Israel. For 40 years, the Philistines held God's people under their thumb. In the town of Zorah lived a man named Manoah from the tribe of Dan. His wife was barren and had no children. One day, the angel of the Lord appeared to her and said, "You are barren and childless, but you will conceive and bear a son. From now on, drink no wine or fermented drink, and eat nothing unclean. The boy's head must never be touched by a razor, for he will be a Nazirite, dedicated to God from the womb. He will begin to deliver Israel from the Philistines." Astonished and elated, the woman ran to Manoah and told him all the angel had said. Manoah prayed, asking the Lord to send the messenger again and teach them how to raise the child. God heard, and the angel returned. "When your words come to pass," Manoah asked, "what rule will govern the boy's life and work?" The angel repeated the charge. Manoah's wife must keep all the instructions he had given. In time, the child was born, and they named him Samson. As he grew, the Lord blessed him, and the Spirit of the Lord began to stir him in Mahanadan, between Zorah and Eshtal. When Samson was a young man, he went down to Timnah and saw a Philistine woman. Returning home, he told his parents, "I've seen a woman in Timnah. Get her for me as my wife." Dismayed, they asked, "Isn't there an acceptable woman among our relatives or among our own people? Must you go to the uncircumcised Philistines?" But Samson insisted, "Get her for me. She's right in my eyes." His parents did not realize this turn would be used by the Lord, who was seeking an occasion against the Philistines. On the way to Timnah, a young lion burst from the thickets. The Spirit of the Lord rushed upon Samson, and with sudden, God-given strength, he tore the lion apart with his bare hands, as easily as one might tear a young goat. He told no one what had happened. Later, returning for the wedding, he turned aside to look at the carcass and found a swarm of bees and honey within it. He scooped some out, ate as he walked, and gave some to his parents without telling them where the honey had come from. At the feast in Timnah, Samson posed a wager to 30 Philistine companions. "Let me give you a riddle. If you solve it within the 7 days of the feast, I'll give you 30 linen garments and 30 sets of clothes. If you cannot, you must give the same to me." They agreed, and he said, "Out of the eater, something to eat. Out of the strong, something sweet." 3 days passed, and they could not solve it. On the 4th day, they pressured Samson's bride. "Coax your husband to explain the riddle, or we will burn you and your father's household. Did you invite us here to rob us?" She wept over Samson. "You hate me. You don't love me. You gave my people a riddle, but won't tell me the answer." He replied, "I haven't even told my father or mother. Why should I tell you?" Yet she pressed him day after day, and on the 7th day he told her. She in turn told her people. Before sunset, the men of the town said, "What is sweeter than honey? What is stronger than a lion?" Samson answered, "If you had not plowed with my heifer, you would not have solved my riddle." The Spirit of the Lord again came upon him. He went down to Ashkelon, struck down 30 men, took their garments, and paid his debt to those who had solved the riddle. Burning with anger, he returned to his father's house. Meanwhile, his bride was given to one of his companions. Later, at wheat harvest, Samson took a young goat and went to visit his wife. "I'm going to my wife's room," he said, but her father refused him. "I was sure you hated her," he said. "I gave her to your companion. Isn't her younger sister more attractive? Take her instead." Samson answered, "This time I am blameless when I harm the Philistines." He caught 300 foxes, tied them tail to tail in pairs, fastened a torch to each pair, lit them, and released them through the standing grain of the Philistines. Fields, shocks, vineyards, and olive groves went up in flames. "Who did this?" the Philistines demanded. "Samson, the Timnite's son-in-law," they were told, because his wife was given to his companion. In retaliation, the Philistines burned the woman and her father. Samson swore, "Since you have acted like this, I will not stop until I have taken revenge." He struck them down, and then withdrew to dwell in a cave in the rock of Etam. The Philistines marched into Judah and camped near Lehi. The men of Judah asked, "Why have you come against us to seize Samson?" They replied, "To do to him as he did to us." 3,000 men of Judah went to Samson. "Do you not realize the Philistines rule over us?" "What have you done?" Samson answered. "I only did to them what they did to me." They said, "We have come to bind you and hand you over." He said, "Swear to me you won't kill me yourselves." They agreed, bound him with 2 new ropes, and brought him up from the rock. As he approached Lehi, the Philistines came shouting. The Spirit of the Lord rushed upon him. The ropes on his arms became like charred flax and fell away. Finding a fresh donkey's jawbone, he seized it and struck down 1,000 men. Standing amid the fallen, he declared, "With a donkey's jawbone I have made donkeys of them. With a donkey's jawbone I have struck down 1,000. When he finished, he threw the jawbone aside. The place was called Ramoth Lehi. Parched with thirst, he cried to the Lord, "You have given this great victory by your servant. Must I now die of thirst and fall into the hands of the uncircumcised?" God split open the hollow place at Lehi, and water flowed. Samson drank, his strength returned, and he revived. The spring was called En-Hakkore, and it remains at Lehi. Samson judged Israel for 20 years. One day, Samson went to Gaza and saw a woman there. He went in to spend the night with her. The Gazites learned, "Samson is here," and set an ambush at the city gate, saying, "At dawn we'll kill him." But at midnight Samson rose, grasped the doors of the city gate with their 2 posts, pulled them up, bar and all, hoisted them on his shoulders, and carried them to the hill facing Hebron, an act of sheer, defiant strength. Sometime later, he fell in love with a woman in the valley of Sorek named Delilah. The Philistine rulers came to her, "Entice him, find the secret of his great strength, and how we can overpower him. Each of us will give you 1,100 pieces of silver." Delilah said to Samson, "Tell me the secret of your strength and how you can be subdued." He answered, "If I'm bound with 7 fresh bowstrings, I'll become as weak as any man." She tried it. He snapped them like charred threads. She protested, "You've mocked me." "Tell me truly," he said. "Weave the 7 braids of my hair into the fabric on a loom and fasten it with a pin." She did. He pulled pin, loom, and fabric free. "How can you say, 'I love you,' when you won't confide in me?" She pressed. Day after day she nagged him until his soul was weary to death. He told her everything. "No razor has ever touched my head, for I am a Nazirite to God from my mother's womb. If my head were shaved, my strength would leave me." Seeing that he had told her his whole heart, she summoned the rulers. With silver in hand they returned. Delilah lulled Samson to sleep on her lap, called for a man, and had the 7 braids shaved off. His strength left him. "Samson, the Philistines are upon you," she cried. He thought, "I will go out as before and shake myself free." But he did not know the Lord had departed from him. The Philistines seized him, gouged out his eyes, bound him with bronze shackles, and set him to grinding grain in prison. Yet his hair began to grow again. The Philistine rulers gathered to offer a great sacrifice to Dagon their god. "Our God has delivered Samson, our enemy, into our hands," they said. In high spirits they called, "Bring Samson to entertain us." Blind and led by a youth, he was stationed between the pillars. Samson whispered to the attendant, "Place me where I can feel the pillars that support the temple, that I may lean against them." The house was packed, men and women, rulers above, and about 3,000 on the roof watching. Samson prayed, "Sovereign Lord, remember me. Strengthen me, please. Just once more, that I may in one blow be avenged for my 2 eyes." He braced himself between the central pillars, one with his right hand, the other with his left, and said, "Let me die with the Philistines." He pushed with all his might. The temple crashed down upon the rulers and all the people within. In his death, he struck down more than he had slain in his life. Afterwards, his brothers and his father's household came, took his body, and buried him between Zorah and Eshtal in Manoah's tomb. He had judged Israel 20 years. A wise takeaway: Samson's life is a mirror. Extraordinary gifts do not excuse ordinary compromises. Strength without consecration becomes spectacle. Consecration without obedience becomes a slogan. But when a humbled heart turns back to God, even in weakness, God can redeem failure and finish His purpose. Guard what God entrusts to you. Resist the slow pull of temptation. And remember, true power is not what we can lift with our hands, but what we surrender in our hearts.